Ladies and gentlemen, this is Genzio Media. We are out here at Bitcoin 2025 conference in Las Vegas. You guys can't see the conference room, but I mean, it's huge. There's talks going on. There's people standing everywhere. And we've got Charlie right here next to me from Bitlayer. Charlie, thanks for hopping on today.
Thanks for having me, Evan.
Yeah, no problem. So, Bitlayer, DeFi on Bitcoin. I've been hearing a lot of buzz around, similar technologies ever since Nashville. Why don't you kind of fill us in, give us top level. What is Bitlayer? How are you guys different? What are you bringing to the ecosystem, and what are you bringing to the event?
Yeah, thanks. So this is my second time, with the interview with Genzio. Great team, massive respect. This is my sixth time in the Bitcoin conference. We sponsored all the Bitcoin conference last year. We were in Nashville. So I'm co-founder of Bitlayer. We started 2023, one of the first team deep dive on BVM research and engineering. So 18 months into the work, we're launching our BVM Bridge, which is the third generation Bitcoin bridging solution. Well, with a mission to activate Bitcoin liquidity to bring that to across different ecosystem. We just had our announcement with Sui, with Cardano, with Base and Arbitron, a few other ecosystem. And yesterday we announced our Bitcoin mining pool support. So N-Pool, F2 Pool, and Spider Pool is strategically become our bridge operator and also investor. So we want to aiming to activate more Bitcoin liquidity, which is the biggest asset class right now in Web3, right, to the DeFi space. We're bringing a lot of the DeFi protocols, like the blue chip ones, like Mofo, Aave, to our ecosystem as well. So far, like 52 million transactions already made our mainnet since last year. We want to get our institutional adoption as well. Franklin Templeton is our leading investor on our Series A, which we announced last year in the Bitcoin Nashville. This year, obviously, Bitcoin almost doubled the price with a lot of liquidity and a movement already in the on-chain. So we want to bring this Bitcoin DeFi use cases to all the Bitcoiners across retail and institution. Yeah.
Awesome. So you guys, for the bridge aspect and kind of getting, onboarded into this layer, right? Is that working between the Bitcoin native layer onto
our layer 2 Bitlayer, but also different layer 1, layer 2 across Sui, Cardano, and other ecosystem, right? The goal is to move the Bitcoin liquidity through our trust minimized way, which is basically building the fraud-proof on-chain using Bitcoin script. So as long as one operator in our bridge is secure and honest, they're going to initiate a challenge game, make sure the security of the bridge is solid. And then we can bring the liquidity and mint on the destination chain. We call this YPDC across different ecosystems. So we're looking at a couple of thousand Bitcoin and to bridge over in the first phase very soon. Yeah, we're gonna roll out, across different ecosystem. So the goal is to bring those Bitcoin to entering solid top DeFi protocols across different ecosystems. Right? We're looking at a yield around 5 to 10%. Yeah, in a sustainable way.
Sure. Amazing. Now, are there smart contracts on this layer? Is it really DeFi as we know DeFi?
Yeah, well, we're even compatible, right? So deploying your smart contract DeFi use case on Bitlayer is the same experience like building with Arbitron. There's two small differences, which is key. One is we use wrapped version Bitcoin as the gas fee, right? And majority of our liquidity is on Bitcoin assets. Yeah.
I see. Now, what are some of your, hopes for this as it evolves over the next few years?
Well, I think three things are very important. Regulation-wise, we really hope we can see SEC approve the ETF staking, right, across Ethereum and also Bitcoin. But then major institutions, even including like even MicroStrategy, right, and other big corporates and ETF issuer like 21 Shares, Franklin Templeton, VanEck, this goes on, to actually engage the Bitcoin DeFi, Bitcoin yield products. We want to issue the Bitcoin yield-bearing ETPs with them as well. That's kind of our next goal. The second thing we're going to see probably Bitcoin have another very interesting upgradation. Potentially could be Opcat, right? Then we can have more expressive native smart contract on Bitcoin and across Bitcoin layers like us as well. So that's like a technical operation. We are kind of contributing that, talking to all the miners, all the Bitcoin cores and so on. And use case adoption-wise, we want to see very institutional grade top, adoption happening with Bitcoin lending, Bitcoin options, all these like proper use cases being used by retail users and also institutions, right? Hopefully we can hit some big numbers in terms of like billions of dollars of TVL and hundreds of millions of transactions, that kind of level. Yeah.
Sure. Awesome. Now, do you have any time frame on when you hope to see those numbers being hit?
I think it's a gradual and eventually will become exponential growth. Next 12 months going to be interesting. We're going to see some 9 figures numbers coming along the ways on Bitcoin DeFi across TVL, user base. User base will be at 8 figures, but TVL 9 figures, even 10 figures, I think potentially will happen in the next 12 months. And then we're going to see some very top projects coming to the Bitcoin DeFi space.
Sure. Yeah, and I mean, with the new, chairman of the SEC in that seat, I'm sure it helps. No more Gary.
Yeah. Fingers crossed with the new policies.
Totally. How are you guys liking the event so far? What's Bitlayer got going on?
Well, as I said, this is my 6th conference. Probably the best conference in terms of logistics, right? Everybody in one roof in the Venetian hotel, very comfortable, very easy to live, and everybody just basically living in the hotel, right? So it's like we don't necessarily have to get outdoors, so it's very convenient.
Sure.
All the OGs, all the media, all the partners are here, all the investors are here. So I think nothing to complain, right? I think Bitcoin Magazine is doing an amazing job. UTXO Management is our early supporter and investor from seed round. They had a very good event yesterday in the Investor Day. So they're doing amazing work. Yeah, so kudos for them.
Awesome. Now, is there anything you guys are hoping to, take advantage of / capture while you're here in Vegas with, all these other builders?
Well, yeah, definitely wants to meet all the institutions. Like a lot of the decision makers from top institutions are here. So we sponsor the institutional stage. It's in the enterprise hall. You're going to see our branding with the LED screen and everything. So hopefully we're going to meet all these interesting decision makers across all the ETF issuers, asset management institutions. And of course, we have some interesting conversation with the mining pools across Foundry, Marathon, even ABDC. And some of them will eventually lead to partnerships just like what we had yesterday. Yeah.
What'd you have yesterday?
So yesterday, we covered by CoinDesk and Cointelegraph and a few other major media. F2 pool, Spider pool, and Atom pool. These 3 pool together has 1/3 of Bitcoin hash rate, right? They become our investor and BVM bridge operator. Yeah. So having those top mining pools support us is a huge endorsement, and make sure we have high level security in our bridge.
Amazing. I mean, that's pretty significant endorsement, right? Now, I'm curious, what does that endorsement look like on a fundamental level, right? How does that put you guys in a better position?
Yeah, so let's see. I got 2 or 3 things, right? Like Bitcoin mining pools, they barely working with any new Bitcoin ecosystem project. So we're one of the first. They really support, right? Put that name there. They become our investor as well. All the mining pool, all the new mining Bitcoin, which regulation-wise is the pure Bitcoin. So there's no KYC, AML concern. Those Bitcoin are new, right? They're not touched by the Silk Road guys, the ISIS, the terrorists, the North Korean. So there's no issue on that. So those are the Bitcoin, are the best Bitcoin we can enter as a liquidity for Bitcoin DeFi stuff, right? So institution can engage as well. So that's kind of the goal in the long run. But the goal for the miners, like our infrastructure, we want to bring fees, we want to bring a new revenue stream for the mining pools. So miners have incentive, right? And it's a right feedback loop for them to keep supporting us. The goal is to build this programmable infrastructure we can generate in fees to the miners, right? So upcoming halving, another 2 or 3 rounds of cycles of halving, Bitcoiners, the miners actually can rely on some new fees like the infrastructure like us, not just the Bitcoin blocks rewards. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, is there anything coming at the event that you guys are waiting to announce or anything in the near future that our viewers can be excited for?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So obviously, Bitlayer, we're launching our governance token, BTR token soon. The major announcement is our V2 mainnet, right, which is Bitcoin security equivalent layer 2 powered by BVM we're working on in the last 18 months. We're finally finishing the auditing work. I think we're getting ready for the V2 mainnet launch. That's going to be the first in the Bitcoin space, which is Bitcoin security equivalent. We want to have the Bitcoin settlement, Bitcoin finality for DeFi use cases to eventually settle on the mother chain, which is very important for the industry. So stay tuned on that launch. We're welcoming all the use cases, right, the builders to work with us. We're going to give all kinds of support across liquidity and grants and so on. So a lot of ecosystem growth plan we're going to roll out after the V2 mainnet.
Sounds very interesting. Where can our viewers keep an eye out for that?
So the best way is follow us on Twitter, Bitlayer Labs. We have around 1 million followers. Hopefully to see people who are interested in the Bitcoin DeFi to tap into our ecosystem, earn some yield, participate in some campaign, get some rewards. Yeah, I think that's the best way to have a taste about what we do. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Charlie.
Thank you,
I
Evan.
think, it's definitely really interesting to hear where you guys are at, where you're going. Right. I've heard a lot of buzz around, DeFi on Bitcoin, right? But I think you guys are bringing Bitcoin to DeFi, right? Which is something unique, and seems like you guys are headed in the right direction and seeing the success of that. So,
Thank you very much.
congratulations.
Thank you, Evan.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Stay untamed with BC Game and make a prediction today and use code GENZIO.
Hey, what's up?
But it's not something Genzio is afraid of.
If you want to survive, you got to build a hive.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Rebecca to Genzio Media House.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us today.